Hello, I'm RetroJules. Now where were we? Oh yes, gameplay. Trying to adapt to the new game meta and failing terribly. Where did we leave it? We left it with Churchill. The only way a man can remain consistent amid changing circumstances is to change with them. I had those immortal words ringing in my ears. I thought, come on, Retro. Relax, adapt, and maybe use the most important thing in the game. No, not gold ammunition, the minimap. And just see if I can change my tanking, be a little bit more aware, and adapt to what's going on. And this is how it went. So as you probably gathered from my last video, I was finding some of the gameplay and my own play very frustrating. And I was just having difficulty just adapting to everything. Difficulty adapting to lemming trains, camping, lack of team support, my own dreadful gameplay, and when I put that all together, it was just horrid. And I'm not the only one who's had these experiences, but there's also some of you out there who are having brilliant games and just mopping up the really crap players, which is probably me, actually. But this, after I made that video, this was the first game I thought I'm just going to roll out the T57 again and just see what happens. And this was the very first game after making that video, and it kind of restored a little bit of my faith in my gameplay. It's never perfect. Trying to use the minimap a little bit more effectively. I try and use the minimap whenever I can, but I am guilty of tunnel vision. I'm guilty of not always remembering where the last tank was. I don't use it to its optimum effect, and that's probably me as a player and my limitations of memory, remembering all the things that you have to do in the game, as well as keeping an eye on where the enemy are. But I thought, I wasn't sure whether to go left or right in this game, and I kind of chose the middle, thinking that if I get spotted that I could just dip down into the ravine. But I got hammered because if anything spotted me, I was right out in the open, up on a ridge, and it wasn't the best idea. So drop back with the team. And I wanted to keep playing the T57 because I do enjoy it. I do enjoy its awesome autoloader. I do enjoy the fact that it is relatively manoeuvrable for a heavy tank. I do enjoy the fact that it's got armour, and if I do make a mistake, it can be a little bit forgiving. So we've got a good spread of our team on the map, and actually I think we've pushed quite well on this flank. But looking at the enemy, they're a little bit campy. They're not really pushing. We've pushed in. IS-7. Not sure. No, it's looking at me. It's looking the other way. Is it worth trying to get a shot on the side of that turret? I don't... turret ring, maybe? Yeah, no, it's just... If anything else, it might have been worth distracting the IS-7. Hopefully somebody else could get a shot in. But it didn't happen. On the reload. Oh, hello, Shady. Just after this game, I platooned up with Shady, and actually, they weren't bad little games at all. Nothing amazing, but they were just quite acceptable. And I led the shot, but it's hit a rock. Glad I'm not the only one that has driving difficulties. Shot in the tracks. Get a mush on, Retro. Get out of view. And you know what I really need to do in these games is just try and keep my health at the start of the game. I can be a little bit reckless, a little bit frivolous, just... yeah, confessions of a crap tanker. That's what it's all about. Nothing's ever perfect. And some people sort of commented on the last video and sort of said, you know, Retro, sometimes you hold back when you shouldn't, sometimes you go in when you shouldn't, and it's, for me, it's always that fine balance. You know, I'm not a perfect tanker, I'm not going to be, but that fine balance of knowing when to be aggressive and knowing when you're going to get away with it, and when to hold back. And see, I'm going in aggressively for this Conqueror, but I'm rolling over the ridge, and there's a tank at the back which got me on the way in, and I wanted to go and help these guys because the Conqueror's going to try and bully them, and I just thought I can go in. It's not going to be interested in me. Probably doesn't even know I'm here. If it does, it doesn't matter. And get loads of damage and a nice kill. But, you know, it was that, well, I'm going to roll in and help the guys with the Conqueror, but at the same time it was like, yeah, but I'm going to expose myself, and I lost some health doing it. So now I'm kind of I'm a one-shot for a TD, probably, and a couple of shots for any other tank. Not a great position to be in. This is the position where I want to be on, like, yeah, like that tank. Full health. Because then it's like, oh my god, the tank's on full health. There's work to be done. Not looking at me. Nice shot in the side. Another one? I'm not sure what that was. Object just over here. And a shot in. 3 tanks to go. So while this game was far from perfect, and this is kind of why I quite enjoy the T-57, because if I'm not perfect, then there's a little bit of forgiveness, hopefully, with the armour, if it's facing in the right direction. So, enemy attempting a cap. KPZ up the top there. That KPZ is going in for our heavy at F5. I'm a little bit concerned that I've got my back to it. If it sort of rolls over the top, I'm very exposed, but I'm taking it for granted that the KPZ is going in for our heavy, not interested in me, and I want to get the cap reset. Because I don't want them winning by capping. Could have done without knocking that tree over, because the tank knows I'm definitely on my way now. There it is, cap reset. Just got time to unleash the whole drum, and we get the tank kill as well. So just the medium left. That was lucky. See, that's where I wanted my health at the end. Got away with it, but more health would be better. So limping around on the battlefield, getting a reload done, but I don't think it's going to matter because our team take care of it. And that was the first game, hurrah, after the dreadful tanking that I'd had. And it was quite acceptable. It was actually quite enjoyable. Far from perfect. How do we do overall? Not bad on silver. Very decent. 3,800 XP. 4,700 damage. Second class mastery. How do we do overall? We came top, and we were the highest damage dealer out of both teams. Not bad. When I have been tanking, my tanking's been a little bit aimless. I feel a little bit ostracised as a player as far as the ops are concerned. I pay for a premium account, and I understand that that is purely to get me 50% more XP on a game, 50% more silver on a game, just to make the game a bit more playable and progressible for me. But since the season of WWE Ops and the new season passes, I'm not interested in playing for the WWE tanks. They do, well, I'd say they do nothing for me. Is it Becky, whatever it is, the light tank is quite an appealing tank, and I may pick that up in a sale, but I am not willing to pay to play more, and also I do not have the time to complete the ops in time if I do pay. So the season for me, the season pass is kind of not doable. I'm happy to play with a premium account, but I'm not getting anything. The rewards are next to nothing. I understand that that's the advantage, and that's perhaps the idea of the game, that if you get the season pass and you get loads and loads of goodies. Can you fit through there, Retro? I can see that. I don't know that that tank's going to fit. You might get through the beginning bit, but there's a couple of columns in the... Give up, man. Oh, thanks. He's trying to push me in. No, it's not a push I need. I just need a smaller tank. But thank you anyway. So, yeah, I'm a bit directionless because I'm not rolling out tanks to think, well, I'm going to try and get that op completed and I'm going to get this done so I can get some free camo or get some flags or whatever perks for my tank. There's none of it, because if you don't sign up for a season pass, there's virtually nothing to play for. And this is probably going to be the first year where I'm going to reconsider whether I even pay for a premium account. I've got a lot of play days banked up, probably about half a year to 2/3 of a year's worth, and I may not get a premium account this year. I may still do it, because if the wheeled vehicles come out, I'm going to want to progress those and do it quickly. I don't know, but I just feel like with the ops at the moment, it's either all or nothing, and the in-between is virtually nothing. And for me, I've kind of always said that I'd quite like to just roll the tanks out and just play. But I've realised that now that I can do that, because I'm not playing for the ops or the WWE tanks or anything like that, that I'm kind of like a little bit directionless. So I thought I would roll out the P43 TER Tier 7 Italian medium, because I don't like it. I have found this tank really dull. I quite enjoyed the Tier 6. I found its turret quite effective and its gun really effective. And at Tier 7, I find its turret quite effective, but its gun is a bit lackluster and it's just a little bit boring. But I'm nearly done. I think when I was playing this game, there's about 20,000 XP left to go, and I thought, right, get stuck in, Retro. Find yourself a direction for your tanking and get the grind done. And lately with Abby, whether I'm in a heavy or a medium, I've quite enjoyed trying to push the middle, because it doesn't seem that many teams do head for the centre. It can be a little bit suicidal sometimes, but I've found that a lot of the teams just go left or right and leave the centre open. And I thought, right, well, I'm going to go in and do my bit. But as you can see, 4 minutes into the game and I'm now one shot, really. So somebody's upside down. RT's at the back. Aim. Oh, it leaves it on 1 health. Come on. I've got to get the kill. Please, come on. Yes. And the other RT is hidden away. Get a shot. Yes, job done. And this is working out quite well, actually. But I've really got to try and just keep the reckless tanking towards the end when I've got my health. Now, this possibly isn't a great position to be in, because that tank's got more health than me, quite simply. But not coming for me. Coming for me now? This... No, not sure. Do you know what? I don't even think that tank knew I was here. It's a long reload. It's a long reload. Come on. Oof. That was a little bit touch and go, actually. I think I was just lucky that that player wasn't that aware of me. That's the only reason I got away with that. Well, we're 2 tanks up. KV-85 capping. Let's reset the KV-85, but there's another tank in the cap. No, it's not. That's the only... See, the capping circles still do my head in. We're capping the red circle. They're capping the green circle. Just, I still don't always get to grips with these circles. I'm fine when one team is capping. I'm not fine when they're both capping. So, they've got the KV-85 in the cap. We had 2 tanks in their cap. Reset the cap. Oh, this for a Top Gun. If come on, come on, come on. Get that reload done. Oh, do you know what? A couple of shots in that chaffee, and that would have been a Top Gun. Well, I quite enjoyed playing the centre of the map. I quite enjoy games where I get away with things that I shouldn't always get away with, because that just makes me smile. I enjoy the skin of teeth games, the slightly clumsy games. 2,700 XP, 3,500 damage. Ace tanker, only ace tanker I've got in this tank throughout the times that I've been playing it. And how do we do overall? Retro, how do we do overall? Thank you. Oh, we come top with the 5 tank kills. I quite enjoyed that clumsy game. Don't get me wrong, there has been plenty of disastrous games. I still have the ability to play terrible, but I am trying to adapt to the games that are different at the moment, and actually it's almost kind of refreshing, because for me the game was getting just a little bit stale. I was just a bit like, well, what do I do? What do I want to do? And this has completely turned things on its head, and you can't go into any one game now and take it for granted that the heavies will go to the choke points, that the mediums will group up as wolf packs and go in and flank and be aggressive and attack, and even relying on the light tanks to go spotting. You know, light tanks, I've seen light tanks take up TD positions. I've seen light tanks stay at the cap, seeing where the rest of the team goes. And in this particular game, there were no light tanks, and I took the decision that somebody had to go into the bowl and do a bit of spotting, I thought, and I paid the price for it. I could have sat up with the rest of the team and just sniped, but I chose not to. And just so you know, we did actually lose that game because everyone just sat at the top, and a few heavies did eventually push at B2, but it was all a little bit too late. But their team were campy too, because it took ages for their team to get lit up. They were all sort of camping up on their ridge line. So this, I kind of get frustrated that this game has changed the way it has, and it's not so much that it's changed. I think everything has just been amplified by the number of players doing the things that cause issues in the game. But it's going into a game each time and thinking, well, what is going to happen in this game? And once I get my head round really trying to use the minimap and just trying to adapt to that and just trying to be really aware of what's going on, then I might just enjoy it that little bit more. But it wasn't a bad week of tanking. But I have a solution when this game gets frustrating, when you've thrown the controller around the room and hopefully missed the television, because you don't want to ruin any other games you might want to play. I've been rolling out in my buses. I've just fancied a change. I was kind of waiting for SnowRunner, and even though SnowRunner has been out quite some time now on the console, it still doesn't have steering wheel, pedal and gear stick support. And a lot of people are playing it and enjoying it more because they say it's better with a controller. But as a player with a steering wheel, pedals and gear stick, if I have a driving game, I want to use those, and you can't use them at the moment. So I haven't been playing SnowRunner, and I just fancied something a little bit chilled. So Bus Simulator it was, and I've been doing my rounds in the bus. I've been taking my fares and planning my routes, and it is such a chilled, enjoyable game. I don't know what the longevity of it will be like, because it is literally just driving roads, picking up passengers, picking up the garbage that's left in the bus, checking for fare dodgers, planning routes, employing staff. It's a bit different, it's a bit chilled, and it's a bit fun. It doesn't have the puzzle elements that I quite liked in Mud Runner and probably SnowRunner, where if you ditch your vehicle or you run out of fuel, you've really got to think about how you're going to get back to it and get that vehicle up and running. Hasn't got that aspect to it, but for something a bit different, when tanking gets a bit much, or I just can't tank for the life of me, then at the moment I'm just getting the steering wheel out, sitting down nice and comfy, and bussing. So if you guys need a lift, I'll see you at the next bus stop. Keep safe, keep tanking, and I'll see you soon.
98.6 Retro FM. We play the music you want to hear.